presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it is not too difficult, that would be lovely. So
Okay. So I let you have the chair. Who want to join?
So if you can say your name and one word that expresses how you feel right now, can be anything. So you choose.
Okay. Okay. We have one.
Hello, my name is Alper and I'm from Turkey. I think I feel lucky to be here.
Thank you.
My name is Elif. I'm from Turkey, and I feel excited to be here.
I'm Zolfi from Hungary, and I'm really interested in the topic.
I'm Musa from Hungary, and I'm curious about this topic.
Okay, he's coming. The next one.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tunç from Turkey, and I feel inspired when I'm here.
Thank you.
We have also a girl from Slovenia now.
Hello, I'm Kaya from Slovenia, and I feel excited to be here.
Because we are in 20, so all of us, or it's enough?
As you like. If anyone else wants to say their name, where they're from, and how they feel, I'm happy to listen. As you like.
I'm already there, so I'm Nika from. Hi, I'm Nika from Slovenia, and I feel happy to be here.
I think we can go forward.
I actually didn't think it was so like it was a little bit of a hassle to stand up, move. I don't have I'm not conscious of how you are in the room. So thank you. I would love to be there and actually meet you in person. And I'm gonna share some slides which I prepared. I prepared them in Italian because there was a miscommunication between me and Sabina about the language of this presentation. So I was trying to translate a few keywords very fast. And I will try to do that. But I hope it's gonna be, you know, as understandable as possible.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So, do you see well? Because of course you are 20 people around the computer, so that's not gonna be that easy to follow anyways.
No, we have a screen, so we can follow
okay.
on the screen, but we have just a camera from the computer.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Move.
Okay, that's better. So as I said before, yeah, today we're gonna talk about sociocracy, which I like to think it as how to make decisions together in effective and equitable ways, which seems quite a, you know, not a super normal thing to think about, right? How do we make decisions together? But actually, I find it so fascinating that you're a group from learning, like studying and learning about democracy, because that's exactly what it is. Like, how do we make decisions together in very large numbers in today's society? And what's the story about that? You know, how that became something. So sociocracy is also a system for making decisions together, which aims at making decisions together in equitable and effective ways. And as I said before, I'm part of this organization. This is the Italian name of this organization. Yeah, which promotes sociocracy. How do you go forward? Okay, so we're gonna look at 4 key things today, and I would like to start from the idea of power, which I find so fascinating. And then we're gonna talk about the key pillars of sociocracy. What are the key practices of sociocracy, which are circle structure, consent decision-making, and an evolutionary approach to learning and organizing. So the first thing I would like you to do is to grab your phone, if actually that's something possible with or without a Wi-Fi, I'm not sure. But I would like to grab your phone and go to these websites and put this code 12341004. Or alternatively, but maybe it's a little bit difficult, you can just scan the QR codes. And I would like you to add up to 3 things, 3 words that come to mind to you when thinking about power. Anything that pops up in your head when you think about power. Do you manage to get there?
We had a problem with the internet, but we are connected again.
Okay.
Guys, this can be used by time, but definitely if the Wi-Fi it's not stable enough to be in the
I have like data.
Some more, or do you have some internet connection issues? Oh yes. Okay, so I read politics, money, to lead, military, intelligence, gather, ability, knowledge, adjust. I'm gonna wait a few seconds if someone else are inserting a few extra words.
You can tell now.
Decision.
What else?
What to say to Lisa?
Then I read decision, ruler, ability.
What else?
Wow. It's kind of, it could be.
I was muted. I was reading the words without you. So and then I read strength, adjust, crown, control, responsibility, to gather, punishment, authority. So
It's possible to switch off the point.
I think I'm not sure if you can hear me, if you're froze or not.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I find this fascinating every time because I think we relate a lot of very different things to the idea of power, right? And I think the main thing we can see here is that, you know, we can take a few words here and let's say we can link, for example, the idea of responsibility to the one of you know, making a decision. You're responsible to take a decision, or the idea of strength to the one of authority or control or punishment. And the very nice thing is, you know, military, politics, and money are a few things through which we can exercise power in different ways. So I really like this, actually. And why did I want to, you know, make this little game with you? Because none of you speaks Italian, right?
A few.
A few. Okay. So for those that speak Italian, like for sure you'll know that potere, power, is in Italian not only an object, like how do you say? Un sostantivo, but also a verb, right? You know, to be able to do something. And for me, this is so fascinating and actually a really important campaign. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry, I'm dog sitting. So you'll soon notice that the concept of power can be seen from two different perspectives, and this is something that an important Italian activist in Sicily during the 60s really, you know, talked a lot about. So on the one side, we have power as something that we use to exercise authority over other people or things, and on the other side, so in the sense of, you know, to dominate, of supremacy, and to make someone else a subject to ourselves. And on the other side, the idea of power in the terms of being able to do things together with other people. So this sort of inner and collective forces that allow us to get empowered to really play our leadership. Sorry. Okay, so if we take into consideration the second idea of power, so to be able to do things with other people, we can start thinking about what really do we want to do with other people, right? What can we do? What can we do? What can we focus on together to make things happen? And I mean, just a few examples. A group may want to, offer local foods for accessible prices to the local community. Some other group would like to maybe, I don't know, organize a discussion forum on how to do gardening, and other groups may want to, organize interesting tours to the nice locations of our, our region. So any group could have an idea, some sort of purpose to make things happen together. And this is for me like the real, a beautiful understanding of what power is. It's really like being able to do things in effective ways to make change happen. So, and I want to focus for a second on, what are the decision-making systems that we live in today's society? And really often, I think we play within hierarchical systems. Think of, I don't know, most of schools or, any institution like hospitals. Like you always have someone at the heads of the system. And normally, of course, I'm simplifying, but the power structure in hierarchical systems works in a top-down way. So there's one above me, they will decide what I will do. And I will decide what who's below me is gonna do. And in some way, this is a pretty effective system because we always know who takes decisions, or I always know who's gonna take a decision that will overrun my decision. And generally, these kind of systems work pretty well in really, static situations. They do well, to be honest. Of course, there's one of these few countersides, like people in hierarchical systems tend not to be that motivated to work for the organization, right? So if you read at the bottom of the hierarchical system, to be told what to do is not really nice, right? I think we all felt, that feeling sometime in our life. So what happens to a lot of groups? They say, oh no, of course we don't want to do things in a hierarchical way. We want to do things together. So let's organize an assembly and decide what we want to do. And that is amazing, right? Because I mean, like, what's the best to meet everyone at the same time and discuss all together about something. And this is like, for me, this is amazing because it means like the people value, equity and democracy and, being able to do things all together and not having someone on top of us making decisions for us. Sabi, io non vedo la chat, quindi vedo due notifiche, ma non so se sono rivolte a me. But what happens with assemblies? They take a long time, right? Have you ever been part of an assembly of, I don't know, 50 people? Most of the time, it's only really a few being able to speak and say what they think. So what we do normally in assemblies is then at a certain point, somebody is going to say, okay, let's vote on it. And we'll vote on, we'll do majority voting. And And that's really effective in some way. It cuts, the discussion and says, okay, now we make a decision and we take a decision by majority. But and that is for me, I think, of course, I think we all know that, that's the best way to make decisions when you're a lot of people, like when you're, the citizens of a country, or, so who have to make decisions about something like a referendum. But of course, you're always going to have a part, like, a part of the whole group being definitely unsatisfied, mostly unsatisfied with what's the outcome of the decision taken. So in some way, like, we value a lot equity in this sort of system, but to be honest, yeah, it may be efficient in some ways, but you always are going to have like a lot of polarization, which in the long run is not that good. It may create a lot of different counter effects. And then there's people that say, okay, let's just organize ourselves, as let's do it ourselves. Like, let's just do it as it happens. And this is for me the worst system you could ever think about, because or not think about, because when you intentionally decide not to have a clear system in which who's going to decide on on what, I think that's the system most at risk to dominance and toxic relations, and always the same people speaking, like, and normally like most of the times these people are male, of a certain age, with a certain type of tone of the voice, more extroverts. So we think of not having a structure. Someone would say anarchy, but I don't think that's anarchy has a specific idea to that. But so I don't want to talk about that. But people think of being without a structure to be really egalitarian, but actually for me it's the system most at risk to toxicity and toxic relations and power dynamics. And then I want to introduce sociocracy, and I want to say something. I don't think there's a good system and a bad system. It's just like, I want us to understand that there's different dynamics to different systems, and for me it's really important to just acknowledge that, right? And I think different systems are okay in different scenarios. So as I said before, it does make sense to have majority voting in certain situations. Is the most effective and equitable way to make a decision, for example, in large numbers. So, and I want to talk about sociocracy now, which I look at it as a system that tries to find a balance between equity and efficiency on the one side, and collaboration, so doing things together, and autonomy, so doing things by myself, on the other. So equity and efficiency, and collaboration and autonomy on the other side. And I think I said it at the beginning, but what does sociocracy mean? No, I didn't say it. So it comes from an ancient Latin and ancient Greek words. And, it simply means those that associate together. So those that decide to work together, decide together. That's simple. So those that associate together to do something, decide together. And its meaning may come a little bit clearer in a bit. So now I'm gonna briefly talk about the key pillars, key elements of sociocracy. So we looked at what is power, what we think actually about power, not what is power, and how can power be organized in different governance systems. And now we're gonna look at sociocracy. So a key element of sociocracy is the idea of a circle. A circle is a group of people that have a name. So an objective, something we want to work on. Roberto, you still there? Okay. And then the idea of domain, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but that's key to something I'm going to talk about later. That doesn't matter right now. And this group of people, this circle of people, has a clear idea of who's member of that circle, of that group, because we want to make sure who are the decision makers in that circle. So a circle or group is a group of people with a specific objective, a name, a domain, so something they're responsible on, and they have a clear idea of who's a member of that circle, because we want to have clarity on who's the decision maker in a specific topic. So of course, like a group of people normally, well, the group of people tend to grow in number, right? So we may start in 5 and decide to open, like, I don't know, a bar or a cafe together. And soon we're gonna need to find new people to work with us, right? So I think there's a golden rule in social dynamics, which is when you're more than 8 people, you're gonna have difficulties talking, like making sure that everyone talks in a meeting. Think about it. When have you been in a meeting where more than 8 people have managed to all talk during that meeting? It's really difficult, right? So I think that is important to keep in mind when we want to grow as an organization from a small group of people to many people. And of course, we tend to divide in departments or, other, like in different groups. So we may have in this cafe we're opening together, we may have a circle, a group of people dealing with the kitchen, so cooking. And another circle may deal with the shop, so making sure, to sell the products to the customers. And we may have another circle, another group of people dealing with all, like, the social media and, getting our cafe known in the city. And that's fantastic, because these people can talk about and work together effectively, ensuring equity, because we're small groups and we can make sure that everyone counts in decision making in different topics related to different areas related to our business. But what happens when these circles do not talk with each other? We have that effect called silos effect. So how do I know what stuff to what products to put on the in the shop if I don't know what the circle kitchen is going to prepare tomorrow? So that's why we create something we call general circle, which deals with making sure that information and communication flows effectively throughout the organization. So we have some sort of let's call it a coordinating circle, a general circle, that with 2 representatives of each department circle or sub-circle ensures that the information flows effectively throughout the organization, right? And this, okay. So, and these roles have a name, but I don't, since it's not in English, I don't want to spend too much time on that. But when the 2 people linking circles to each other are called leader and delegate. So the leader guides the circle, supports the operations of the circle, a delegate represents the voice of the circle in this in the upper circle. So in this case, if this is the leader and this is the delegate, this person is going to represent the interests of this, of the shop circle into the general circle. Okay. And then we have other two roles in each circle, which ensure equity and efficiency within the group. So we always have a facilitator, so someone that facilitates meetings. And I'm sure we all have been part of meetings that made us super bored. I'm sure I will not find one person that never been to a meeting that was not boring. I'm sure we always had, that feeling. And why is that? Because we need someone, to orchestrate the group dynamics that we have in a meeting. Otherwise, of course, the most extrovert person is going to speak all the time. And of course, the most introvert the most introvert is never going to speak, or he's going to be, he's not going to be in a comfort place to speak out. So the facilitator really ensures that all voices are heard within the circle meetings. And then we have a secretary. So one person that just, take notes during meetings and administers the documents of the circle. So with this circle structure of circles linked to each other with linking roles, that's how we distribute power. That's how we make sure that there's leaders throughout the organization. I don't think we want leaderless organizations. I think we want leaderful organizations. We want all of us to be leaders in what we do, in what we're competent, in what we're interested in. So, and I think this is a really effective way to make that happen. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good try. And then I want to talk about how do we make decisions together. And then, if you have any questions, just write them down, and I'm gonna ask if you have any questions in a bit. So of course these circles, need to take decisions, right? So the kitchen circle will need to decide how they deal with preparing stuff every day to be sold in the, at the front of the shop. So, very often it happens that someone has a proposal and just says it out loud, but often we don't know how to make a decisions in group. Most of the times, there's one person taking a decision, or we're not even sure we made a decision. How often that happens? Think about it. Like how often were you in a group in which someone said, oh, let's do like that, and then someone else says, oh yes, but we should do it a little bit in this way, and then you start discussing, and then of course, like, you move to another topic, and the meeting ends, passes a few days pass, and then no, io Sabina.
Ma non smetterei la registrazione, perché ecco.
Sì, va bene.
Okay, we still have a huge problem with internet.
Okay. So if you prefer, you can turn off your video.
How can I do?
It's under the Windows bar. At the bottom, behind the Windows.
So I was just.
Yeah. One moment.
Yeah.
What does it say?
He stopped the video to us.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
so I did it.
Okay. You did it.
Yes. Do you hear me
Okay,
well?
let's try. Now it seems working. Let's see.
Okay. So I was just imagining a scenario in which, you know, a group, like a scenario in which I think every one of us have been part of in our life. So a situation in which, as a group, we have to make a decision, and someone makes a proposal, and someone else says, "Oh yeah, I like it, but you know, we should do it this other way, a little bit this other way." And then a discussion happens, and you know, the meeting ends, and then the following week you think, "Oh, what did we decide? What did we decide on this?" So a lot of times, not being clear on how to make a decision together is really counterproductive, because you get a lot of lack of clarity. You leave it to, you know, to the people that are most how to say, you know, action oriented, to make decisions for the rest of the group. So that's why we decide in Sociocracy, we decide to adopt consent decision making, which is a little bit different to consensus, which means, you know, everyone agrees. We use consent to make decisions that are good enough for now and safe enough to try, which means we do not only consider what our preference, but also, you know, what is the range of tolerance in a specific scenario. And that is what we call consent. Anything that is outside this spectrum, we call it objection. So we really think, when we raise an objection, that this proposal is going to make it hard for ourselves to reach our aim, our collective aim. So let's make a scenario. Like, we are a group of people, we're a group of friends that want to have, I don't know, a dinner together on Friday nights. And we already decided that it's going to be Friday nights. And we do that every month. And someone proposes to go have a barbecue, okay? A meat barbecue. And for a few people, it's going to be totally okay. And actually, some of them will love the idea to have, I don't know, a barbecue with just meat. But what if in the group there's someone that is vegetarian or vegan, right? They will probably not be part of our group dinner. And if our friends group aim was to have fun together and have dinner together, if we would decide to have a meat barbecue tonight, probably this person won't be there. So we're not gonna reach our aim to have fun and have dinner together, you know, this Friday night. So that's what we call objection. If a proposal will impact negatively our capacity to reach our collective aim, we're going to raise an objection, and we're going to transform gradually, like the proposal, to meet, you know, everyone needs, and everyone's tolerance, range of tolerance. So for example, if this vegetarian person says, "Oh, I want to raise an objection to this proposal because I would not come to our barbecue evening maybe we can transform this proposal to say, okay, we're going to have a vegetables and meat barbecue this Friday night. And at that point, that person probably will consent, will say, yes, that's fine for me. That's okay for me. And for everyone else to have a meat and vegetables barbecue this Friday night, this Friday evening. So that's a little bit of how consent works and what's the idea behind consent. And how it works is that when someone makes a proposal, we have a questions round, clarifying questions round to understand the proposal. Then we have a reactions round to have an idea of, what people think about the proposal. Someone will love it. Someone will say, yeah, fantastic. Someone will say, yeah, I'm okay with it. And some other people are going to be, I'm not sure about this. I don't love this proposal, right? But not liking a proposal doesn't mean that you would not consent to the proposal. And that's why we have a consent and objections round. So maybe for a specific proposal, all of the people are going to be okay, I'm fine with this proposal. And some people will say, no, I really cannot stand this proposal. I'm going to object. And when someone raises an objection, we're going to try together to solve that objection, to transform that objection to an opportunity to learn something new, to get things a little bit better in our group. So consent decision making helps us to make effective and equitable decisions in small groups. And then there's the third pillar of sociocracy, and then I'm going to go for conclusion and see if there's any questions, which is continual evolution. So I'm sure you all feel these are quite rapidly changing times. Like a lot of things are changing quite rapidly. I think we all ask a few fundamental questions, like, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw them a few, but, what's the future of democracies? What's the future of nation states? What's gonna, how do we deal with wars and, the climate and ecological emergency in today's times? How do we make sure that, poverty is finally eradicated from today's society? So I think in rapidly changing times, we need organizations that are continuously evolving, and we do that through continuous learning. So in consent decision making, we tend to make decisions that are okay. They're not perfect, they're okay, because then we have an opportunity to reflect and measure the effects of these of the decisions we took together. And that's a cycle that we like to follow in sociocracy, which means to lead, to prepare, to do, to act, and then to evaluate, to measure what, how our actions went, in order so that we can inform the next cycle and prepare effectively to act a little bit better, evaluate, and prepare for the next cycle. So that this might feel a little bit abstract, but actually it's not at all. And I'm part of another organization. It's a consultancy firm, and I see this a lot. When we just focus on acting, we don't improve over time, or we improve only a little. And if we don't, it's not even stopping. It's not even, well, it's some sort of pausing. If we pause to measure how we've done together and alone, we can prepare better and act better and, follow this cycle over and over and over, trying to reach our collective aim, our objectives. And that's it. If you're interested in this topic, there's really a lot of tools and practices and principles I would have loved to talk about today, but it's a brief presentation, so it doesn't make sense. there's a lot of resources in English. There's also a few in Italian and plenty of other languages, because we are an international organization. So you can have a look at our website. I'm also gonna put here in the chat if you want. And really feel free to contact me if for any doubt, question, interest, whatever. I'm really happy to answer anything. Thank you. And I wonder if there's any questions.
No, the video doesn't work now.
Maybe it does now.
No, you should open my video.
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Let's say thanks for the presentation. It was there's even if we had some with the connection, internet doesn't work properly, even if we are in 2022. But you know, we are in Italy. Questions here.
Perso, Roberto, you're gone.
Sorry?
You're gone. We couldn't hear you. We said we could hear half of what you said.
Ah, okay, okay. No, okay, here it's okay. I mean, we understand, despite the problems in the internet, we understand 90% of what Thomas said. And I say thanks to Thomas for the introduction. Now, because with time management, we had to say goodbye because we had to cook, prepare the dinner and other stuff. I told you at 6 it will be the limit for us to go. We took also the contact of Thomas in the last slide that he showed. So thanks once again, Thomas. Thanks also, Sabina. Let's keep in touch, even for further activities, further project together. I try to move the camera. I hope that nothing will explode now. That this is
wonderful. Wow, wonderful.
Okay, so I wasn't alone.
Thank you so much. This is such a beautiful, yes, this is wonderful. So thank you very much. It was really a pleasure. And I hope that you will also meet the G-Lab boys and girls that are going to, I don't know if they came, but they didn't. Okay. But maybe we could organize that they meet you and maybe show you around Magliano. So I'll let you know, because it would be nice that that you meet some of them, which was you know, the aim also of this meeting was also that you met G-Lab. And so, I mean, of the community, the young community that is in Magliano. But anyway, thank you very much for your for being here, and I wish you all good luck, you know, for your work and for what you're doing, and we'll be in contact.
For sure. Bye bye, and thank you very much.
Have fun.
Allora, io devo chiudere interrompo la registrazione.